Hi, my name is Janki Patel.
Hi, my name is Ishta Bhagat, and we're gonna talk about our CS-341 final project, and we did ours on JavaScript, and more specifically Fabric.js.
By this time, hopefully, we all know that JavaScript is not same as Java.
And a few things when we were researching JavaScript, we found some fun facts. It's pretty much a crazy language, and it has some pretty crazy magic pretty much behind it. So we found out that actually null is actually an object, and nan is actually a number, and that empty arrays can equal to false. So if you have an if statement, you can actually compare it, and you have to compare it to a boolean true or false. And another thing we found out was that functions are basically like tennis balls. They can call themselves repeatedly without anyone or anything calling them, and they can also fake their own scope. So that means your variable naming game better be good, because if you have two variables with the same name and the scope overlaps, then you don't have a functioning, your code doesn't work, and you have no idea why it doesn't work because the names are overlapped and you can't tell the difference. And another thing we found out was that semicolons are optional sometimes, and sometimes they're needed. So if you don't know when to do it, when you need it, or when you shouldn't need it, it does, well, basically your web page doesn't show up and you have no idea why it's wrong. I mean, for all you know, it could be that it's null. You have like you're calling null, or you have the same named variables or the same named functions, or you just simply are missing a semicolon in your 5,000 lines of code.
JavaScript is a high-level programming language mostly used for web development. It is used with HTML and CSS. HTML is used to define the contents of the web page, where CSS is used to specify the layout of the web pages, and JavaScript does the behavior of the web pages. Dynamic program is an algorithmic technique which is used based on a recurrent formula, which means a sub-solution of the problem is constructed from previously found solutions. And dynamic programming is a general technique which involves four basic steps. First of all, it determines the structure of an optimal solution. It recursively defines the values of the optimal solution. It can compute the optimal solution. And the fourth one is that if you need to know the optimal path in addition to the computed original solution, it can construct the value formed by the path. JavaScript is designed based on the prototype-based model. Prototype-based programming is an OOP model that doesn't use classes, but it first accomplishes the behavior of any classes and then reuses it. It is equivalent to inheritance in class-based languages, but it decorates or expands upon an existing prototype object. So JS doesn't distinguish between class and a class instant or an object. It only has objects. JavaScript also supports functions without any special declarative requirements. This is somewhat similar to anonymous functions in Java, or lambda expressions, as we call them in C++. There is a plethora of library in JS, but Ishta wanted to do fabrics.js, which is a graphic library.
So Fabric.js is a canvas-based graphics library, in that you have basically have a canvas and you can create your graphics, whether it's from shapes to images to even video clips and sprites. And so that basically means you can do animation, and the library supports mostly event-based functions, so like moving your mouse, clicking, dragging, and morphing images or shapes. So we decided to do a demo, and but before that, we're just gonna show you the code and the things we need. But first, you're gonna need your HTML page and a place to show your web page. So I just decided to use people.uic.edu as to show my web page, and index.html is the HTML page I'm gonna have the JS in. The HTML page, the index.html that we had in the PowerPoint, that I showed in the PowerPoint. So first we're gonna have to import the fabric.min.js, which is the scripting library. And I have 3 canvases here. I have just to show my demos, and I also included my video clip, which I'll use. So this one right here, this one. So this script is about an animation of the spiral. So it will show like it's just a spiral image that I've just kept on rotating over time, and is using a random number generator. So more and more keep on adding. The second canvas I'm going to show is an event-based one. So if you mouse over it, which is the like canvas, they're pretty straightforward functions. And if you mouse over it, it like shifts and moves the X and Y position of images and shapes. And the third one is you can even edit video clips. So we have, we didn't want to make it too confusing for this one, so we just kept her static. But this is another video clip that we had. So if I, so this is the code, but I'll show you the actual demo in a web page. On the demo link in the PowerPoint, you'll get to this web page. It's just basically, I hosted it on people.uic.edu. And as you can see, there are 3 canvases. I'm just going to refresh the page, and if you can see, this is the video we have of a grandma being silly, because I wanted to see a grandma being silly. But this is the video, and so this is our 3rd canvas. If you look on this one is our first canvas, and where we have a spiral image that keeps on replicating, and this is the ones where the functions just keep on calling themselves whenever they want to, and it basically animates them. And then the second canvas right here, if you can see, it's event-based, so as I mouse over it, it like repels from the mouse. And so this is basically a shape that keeps on multiplying, and the mouse, as you can see, it reacts to the mouse. I'm not clicking on them, just simply just hovering over them, and they don't like it. So yeah, this was our demo for 341 project, and thank you.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you.